Welcome to the MindShift Movement Podcast, hosted by Alan Johnson. On this podcast, Alan will be sharing with you empowering, effective, and actionable knowledge within the fitness and mindset space to help you, the listener, become the very best version of you physically, mentally, and emotionally. Now, get ready to dive into today's episode.
And I'm diving a bit deep on a Thursday evening, just to share some of my story about my past and hopefully share a bit of value, a few learnings from my past experiences. And maybe if you're going through a few challenges yourself right now within your life, I know many people are, maybe you're just looking for a little bit of inspiration to help you get through those times, and possibly a little bit of self-coaching for myself along the way as well. So yeah, I can see a few more people are tuning in, guys. So feel free to say hello, give me some likes and loves, let me know that you're watching. And yeah, I'm going to get started. So yeah, I just wanted to dive deep into some of my past experiences through my childhood, and hopefully, like I say, share a bit of value with you, a few learnings along the way, and hopefully inspire some of you to get through your own challenges to help you move forwards with your own life as well. So I've shared some of my story in the past, but going back when it was my early years, there was a lot of shouting, a lot of screaming, a lot of fighting with my parents, a lot. And most of my childhood memories are filled up with just that shouting and rowing and screaming, and it wasn't a great place, a great environment to be living in. But obviously, what was I meant to do? I was just a young kid, stuck in that situation. My parents shouldn't have been in a relationship. They should have split up well long before. But I know this can happen a lot. Parents feel that staying together is the best thing for a child, even though they're screaming, fighting, shouting, which, you know, you don't want to be doing that around young children, because they're going to pick up on all of those habits, and subconsciously it's going to negatively impact them with, you know, in their life, like it has for me with my anxiety, my depression in the past, right? So, you know, they did it for a reason. They obviously thought it was the best thing to do, to stay together. But yeah, like I say, they should never have been in a relationship. My dad was an alcoholic for years, and again, it's something that I've shared before, over like 20, 30 years. Just an alcoholic, just couldn't get off the stuff. We tried everything we could to help him. But if you know any alcoholics yourself, maybe a family, maybe a friend, it's a very difficult addiction to work with. And yeah, he's sadly not with us anymore. So he passed away back in April last year. Had like a stroke and a heart attack, both together. Bless his heart. And then my mum, she was really, really stubborn, and she still is as well. So she was always up for a row, always up for a fight. Didn't shy away from screaming and shouting. So it was both as bad as each other, basically. And because of all of this going on, my mum, I'm not sure if she was before, but she turned into like an extremely worried and anxious person. And she would basically spend hours out of the house just walking around the streets, right? Because she just didn't feel safe to be at home around my dad. And this went on for years as well. And my dad was a milkman, so he was like in the house. So he was like weird hours. So he'd kind of be in the house from like 4 p.m. or whatever after his shift. And then he'd be gone at like 11 o'clock at night or midnight. So during those kind of hours, my mum would just try and stay out the house, just out of his way, out of sight. So yeah, that's what was the best choice for her, basically, to stay out of the situation. And yeah, through this experience of seeing my mum like that impacted me, started making me feel anxiety and depressive feelings when I was a young child, but I didn't understand those feelings at that time. So at school, I felt like I never fitted in. I couldn't focus. I couldn't concentrate because I guess at the time, I might not have been consciously thinking about my home situation, but subconsciously at the back of my mind, I've got all of this stuff going on in my head. So that was affecting my schoolwork. Sometimes I remember like looking back, right, is I used to just be, when I'd just be walking around or whatever, whether I was in the high street or just wherever I was getting up to, I used to get like this real eye burning and eyes just watering. Not that I was crying, it was just real eye burning, and yeah, my eyes would just constantly water, and I didn't know what this was, but maybe that was just because I just felt so anxious at the time. I'm really, really not sure. Still questions me today. And then the moment came when I was around 14 years old, and my mum woke me up that morning. Bit of a shock, really. So woke me up, got all of her bags with her, and I was thinking, like, what's going on here? I was only young, didn't know what to expect, and she basically said, I'm leaving your dad today. So I got up, quickly got dressed, and I was just in shock. I didn't know what was going on. Walked her to the bus stop with her suitcase and her bags to just help her along. And yeah, she was looking really, really fearful because, you know, leaving my dad after being with him God knows how many years, even though they used to just row and argue and fight all the time, it must have been a very, very difficult choice and decision for my mum. And I respect her for that, even though it should have been done a long time before. It must have took a lot to do that. And she asked me the question that morning whether I was going to go with her or whether I was going to stay there. And I walked her to the bus stop, and I remember still just thinking about it while we was walking there. And just for some reason, I just decided to stay at my dad's. Maybe it was just comfortable. You know, I'd always lived there. Maybe I didn't want to lose my friends, the only ones I had. Maybe it's because my brother was there and I wanted to see him. I'm sure he wasn't at uni at this point. He might have possibly been, but I'm sure he wasn't. So my brother was still around. And I think, yeah, maybe just wanted to stay there, around my friends, same school and everything like that. So anyway, waved off my mum goodbye that day, which was really, really difficult, seeing my mum go off on a bus, knowing that I had to go back to my alcoholic dad, living in the same environment, getting through it, you know, getting through my school days, feeling discomfort, feeling anxiety, feeling depressive feelings, and all of this going on in my head. And like I said, I didn't understand all of that back then. You know, social media wasn't around. I don't even think I had a phone with internet then. I might have had a phone with a few games on it, but I didn't even have the internet then to even know about all of this stuff. So it was a really, really crazy time. So yeah, she drove off on the bus that day. She went, obviously we kept in contact. And I think I used to meet her like every other week, just in Romford, where I was born, just in the town. And I was wondering after she left as well, you know, how was my dad going to react to that? And I can't actually remember. Subconsciously, I probably do. Subconsciously, I definitely remember what had happened, but consciously, I can't actually remember how my dad reacted. I'm sure he was bloody upset because he really, really loved my mum. But then at the same time, he probably knew that they shouldn't have been together. So, yeah, from this moment on, after my mum left, the bunking off school was just getting worse. I mean, before that, I used to just pretend I was unwell and then just so I could play FIFA all day and not have to go to school. They wasn't as strict on the rules back then. But yeah, after my mum left, there was a lot more bunking. Started taking drugs with the other cool kids at school, I guess to fit in. Started smoking cigarettes. And yeah, not really going in a positive direction with my life. Not really focused on learning and developing as an individual. And then the day come when I turned 16 years old, and I thought the best thing I could do was to go and get a job on a building site with a friend's dad, or stepdad. So I wanted to start earning my own money, right? Because at home, we didn't have a lot of money. Like I say, mum left. She's never worked anyway. She's been quite an ill lady. So my dad was a milkman, so he wasn't raking in the cash. And most of the money that he had, he was spending it on alcohol. So yeah, I wanted to start earning my own money. I wanted to start eating properly. Well, I say properly, I used to just survive on like fish and chips or battered sausage and chips and chocolate, because I knew nothing about nutrition, and this was probably making me feel a lot worse as well. So yeah, working on a building site from 16. The company went into, before that actually, I won't go into that. I ended up skipping my GCSEs because I was working. It was like, do I take 2 weeks off school 2 weeks off work to take my GCSEs, or do I go and earn 2 weeks of money? So I chose the money instead. So I actually didn't take my GCSEs. And like I say, this is back around 13 years ago now. So they wasn't as strict with all of this stuff at school. And then fast forward to today, after this experience from my past, you know, I'm a father myself now to Alfie. We've got another little baby on the way, which is really, really exciting, coming in June 21st this year. I'm growing my own coaching brand now, which I'm really, really excited about. 2 years in, and it's been fantastic. And we've just purchased our first property as well. So we're getting on the property ladder very, very soon. Just waiting for everything to go through now. And sharing content with the world, you know, through my podcast, through my Facebook lives, through all of my social media content, just trying to inspire as many people to take positive action with their goals and their desires on a daily basis. So, you know, no matter what's happened in our past, guys, it doesn't have to be a representation of our present or future reality. So no matter what you've gone through in the past, maybe you're going through some challenges at the moment, just know to yourself that you can get through it, and you will become a much stronger person through going through those experiences. And we can really change our life if we want to. You know, it takes a lot of conscious effort to change. Most of our lives are in a subconscious state. Okay, so you're not really thinking about what's going on. You're living through your habits and your past experiences. So yeah, it takes a lot of effort, hard work, deep thinking, awareness, and consistency as well. But remember this, you've got this, guys, okay? So I'm always here to talk to any of you at any time. I'm all about trying to give as much free value as I can. And it's important for me to help other people after going through my own personal experiences. So this year, 2020, I want to help a lot more people move from pain into a more pleasurable experience from life, right? So any of you that have jumped on this podcast or this live, I'm willing to book you in for a completely free 20-minute strategy call with me, one-to-one, okay? And we can discuss any challenges that you're going on right now in your life, maybe some situations, what's happened in your past. And together on the phone, we can discuss some solutions to what's going on as well. And it's completely free of charge. Like I say, won't cost you nothing. 20 minutes, and we can come up with some solutions to help you move forward, guys. And like I say, your past does not have to be a representation of your present or your future reality, guys. So, yes, I hope you took some value from this live and podcast. Thanks for tuning in as always, and I'll catch up with you on the next show.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the MindShift Movement Podcast. If you'd like to support the show, please subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, SoundCloud, or Google Play. Share this episode with someone you feel would benefit from the content. And please leave a 5-star review wherever you download your podcasts. You can also contact Alan at ajfitmindcoaching@gmail.com or on Facebook at AJ Fitness and Mindset Coaching and on Instagram at Alan_Johnson_coaching. We'll catch you on the next episode.